Episode 7, you guys. This was a huge week for milestones. I hit 100 rides on my Peloton.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. A lot of sweat went into that.
Yeah.
This very pod that you're listening to, welcomed. We had our 100th follower on Facebook. Another big century milestone. So great work on hitting that like button, everybody. Really appreciate that. And lastly, and but not leastly, we had our first little solo stream adventure where we played around with publishing a book review on Facebook. So look for more on that front. We're still kind of playing around with the format and frequency, but
Just
Century.
remind the folks
Century week.
What was the booking and what'd you read?
It was The Great Circle by Maggie Shipshed, and my spoiler alert was it was a great book, and you should read it. You should stop what you never read it.
Spoiler alert, also a great review by Ian Kerr.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. First of many. Coffee this week, I think, Mark.
Yeah,
we're both indulging.
Little espresso right here. It's going to be popping.
Yeah, and sorry for our Spotify only fans. We just did a little snapshot of our coffee.
Missed the coffee.
I got an espresso machine. I got a little gizmo gadget. Paid more to get less, right? I mean, espresso, you're getting that 2 or 3 sips.
Yeah.
Punches home. I just, over the last couple months, Mark, I just really decided that espresso is what I want to drink. I definitely like the 8-ounce cups of drip coffee, but
do you just drink the espresso in the evenings or the morning or whenever, or how do you decide? 8 ounces or
unfortunately, I'm kind of drinking coffee all day. I know it's a little strange that I can sort of go to sleep after drinking coffee, but I like it in the morning. I like it in the afternoon. I like it in the evening, I guess. I'm very Scandinavian that way, I suppose. But
you know what else
should tell everybody. Yeah, I'll tell everybody what kind of espresso flavors I'm liking. I'm kind of playing around with it, but I love it, man. I love it. So
let's hit our 3 topics. What do we got, Ian?
We have 3 electric topics today for you guys. We have office sports.
Boom.
We have our 2022 financial approach.
Always
as we
exciting.
roll into February. It's becoming important to really hone in on that. And lastly, we have a really, really cool wild card. We have, what have you been watching lately? Question mark. So let's do this. I'm Ian.
And I'm Mark.
Let's get into it.
They got red hair, they really don't care what they talk about. They just want to have a good time while talking online. Let's get into it.
All right, so I'm going to open it up with the first story in our sports, quote unquote, category. And I'm using the term broadly. Sports, activities in the office too. So my question to you, Ian, is what is the best office sport? And I'm breaking it down into 3 factors.
Yeah, you sure are.
I thought long and hard about this while at work this week, right? To be a good office sport activity, you have to have a low footprint or space requirement. For example, you can't play dodgeball in the cafeteria.
Just can't do it.
It's not going to work.
Conducive to work. No, not even with the whole Zoom thing. Nope.
The sport has to have a low skill level. It has to be accessible to everybody in the office. So a lot of people like to have that little putting game right in their office. Honestly, It's only for golf fans. You don't know how to putt. People don't like that. There's a lot of skill in that little putt
begin
game.
To try without, a lot of skill. I agree. What's your third rule?
Number 3, maybe most important, simple rules, right? So darts is a simple game in theory. You throw a dart at the wall. Like granted, in the office, you'll probably make a hole in it. But when you're doing the actual scoring,
18 times 3 in real time. Are you kidding me?
Can't do it.
501 is the get. Can't do it. Can't do it.
So that's the 3 things: low footprint, low skill level, and simple rules. Tell me why I'm wrong. Agree or disagree? What do you got?
I love it. I agree completely. The best activity, and everybody does it. Even people who say they don't do it. It's when you have that paper towel, you finished your meal, you crunch up in that perfect sphere. You add that little element of gravity, of weight, a little bit of water, maybe saliva, probably not after COVID. And then you do that little juke, that
definitely a juke and a deep,
and you launch that into the wastebasket, and it's a swish, and you say Kobe. So you do a little pump fake, maybe a sky hook.
Oh, and it feels so good.
Feels so good. And I like to think I'm pretty good at it.
You ever do? Yeah, you said skyhook. How about you look at your table mate and no look, boom, shoot, close the eyes, and
That's
whether
a
or
freeze
not
frame,
you make it
man.
or you miss it, you always assume you make it and you walk away.
You
Right?
try to, I mean, obviously
You go
we're
back
good-
if you
we're,
miss.
we're
but
good stewards.
Yeah.
We clean up after ourselves.
you
But
gotta
yeah,
take a shot.
I think it's the perfect combination of, daydreaming and physical activity. I kind of love the idea of you're in your head, but you can actually do something as well. I remember when I was a kid, I used to do this thing where I would throw not a baseball, obviously, but like a hard ball or like a tennis ball against the garage. And I was like the pitcher, I was the umpire, I was the batter who never hit the ball, obviously, because I was the greatest pitcher of all time. And I would do like these mock innings where I would just kind of like just throw the ball, and it was all in my head, but it was vivid, and it was real, and it was a physical activity. It was really fun. So what about you, Mark? What are some other thoughts on the office sports?
I think what people expected us to say was ping pong, because everyone loves that ping pong table in the break room. But honestly,
but it's not used that much.
It takes a lot of skill. You got to set it up, and it goes against my low footprint rule because it looks kind of small, but all that space you need around it.
It takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of skill, right? Plus, and the problem is it's hard to find that person. Well, it's a good matchup. Usually you're playing against somebody who first time, and you're not, you're like a seasoned pro. It's hard to get that combination where you have actual rally. And then, there's very few rules, but no one can agree on the rules. Plus, is it serves? Is it 5 serves per side?
Yeah.
Is it, spin? Is it box to box? Like,
and if you get into it, if you get into a good match, well, it's no good because suddenly you're sweating and you're in your business apparel, right?
Yeah.
And then you're being loud. Someone shut the door next to you.
I think the best way to do office sports ping pong is to do like a tournament, like a bracket, like have a week, have 16 players, 32 players, just do it that way. Yes, I think also we can't leave this topic without mentioning cornhole.
Yes.
Bags, if you will. It's very regional in terms of its flavor, but
that works in situations. If it's a event, a casual afternoon, a grill out, a cookout, that kind of thing, that's where I think bags, cornhole, whatever works. You can be outside on the sidewalks and it works. Yeah. But the rest of the year, no.
It's hard also when I play like twice a year. That first time you play, you hit nothing.
It's awful.
You're not used to it. You're not playing it as a kid and getting that sort of muscle memory. So you play it after a year, it's like playing for the first time again.
Well, I'll take it one further, and this maybe sounds like a cop out. Every bag and every board is different, right? And some of them that we've played in the office,
slippy slides, little launch pads, and
you're trying to find your shot, and it's completely different.
And then you have that person that demands that it's 23 or 27 feet apart, and you're just like blowing your wrist out trying to hit the damn thing.
Yeah.
So what we're saying, I guess, is we like the wet paper towel.
Wet paper towel basketball. The more casual, the better. Anyone can do it. Right-handed, left-handed, no-handed. That's where it's at. Is it a sport? I mean, what defines a sport? I don't know. It's definitely an activity.
And basketball.
It can be competitive.
So look at here. I'm just going to pan the camera. A little basketball thing there, right there. I don't have anything I have a little Nerf ball to shoot. I'm going to shoot off camera. Of course I made that. You guys know that. That's a given.
Okay. Wonderful. Let's move into our second topic. How about that?
Yeah. So 2022. Well, it hurts me, guys. It hurts me to say this, but the pundits were right. They've been right so far.
Don't look at your portfolio.
Don't look at your portfolio. Don't use any of your online apps. Just turn the phone off. We're in a pretty serious correction right now. A few quick numbers for you. The NASDAQ on Wednesday, the 19th, it did close down more than 10% from its November high.
10%. That's a magic number, right?
That confirms the correction. It's down now 12% from its record. And then the S&P, which is arguably the benchmark, is down 6%. Okay. So it's down essentially a hefty sales tax. If you
Why?
Think about it that way.
Why?
So I'll give you guys a quick few reasons. A rise in treasury yields amid concerns that the Fed will become aggressive in controlling inflation. It's hit tech hard. Tech does not like that news. There's no more free money. Growth is going to stall.
Can we pull in
That's
that,
the
though?
idea.
Is it all tech or some tech?
Well, the market's being dragged down by your big boys.
Mm-hmm.
It's the companies that you guys have the products for, the Microsoft, the Apple, Nvidia, the big ones the Googles are dragging it down. Everybody's down, but some people are down quite a bit. And then unfortunately, there's no financial story right now without COVID playing a role. Unemployment and inflation are leading to a pretty sour situation. So what am I doing? And then I'll let Mark go. I'm not worrying. I'm not floundering. I am sticking to my investing thesis. I am buying ETFs. I am buying the market. I am not interested in looking to buy individual bargain basement deals. To me, this is just like white noise. We're not retiring tomorrow. We might want to, but it's not happening.
No.
I'm not changing anything really. I'm investing in the dividend aristocrats. I'm investing in the stocks that you have, the products in front of you now, Coke and Pepsi, Colgate, Procter and Gamble, 3M, the companies, Johnson & Johnson. I'm investing in companies that I believe in. Their products make sense. And because they're dividends, they are paying us to hold on to the stocks. So that's what I'm doing. I can go a little more detail after I let Mark go. But Mark, what are you doing right now, buddy?
Probably boring for the audience, but I'm going to say more of the same. I mean, my investment strategy, my investment thesis is you should be buying businesses, not ticker symbols, right? So I'm buying Coca-Cola, or even you said Google or Apple, or these different companies, these businesses that make a product that have revenue. It matters when COVID goes up or down. It matters when inflation goes up or down. But does that really change somebody's Coca-Cola drinking habits? No, it doesn't.
They're going to go up and down a little bit, but they're going to be there in the long run.
I mean, I am not investing for 2022 or for 2023. I'm investing for life, right? This is the long game. I will probably up my 401k, bump it up 1%, because why not? Because you barely feel that pain. And if anything, it's like you said, is a 10% correction. So boom, things are on sale, right?
Right.
I mean, I have my financial goals set up for the year and I'm going to execute them. And to help me fight, that FOMO feeling, I'm allowing myself to buy a small amount of crypto, a little Bitcoin, a little Ethereum, which we've talked about.
Yes.
But for the most part, it's 401k, Roth IRA, and maybe a taxable brokerage if I'm able to, if I hit October or November of this year and I've hit all my financial goals and I have excess cash at that point in time, then I can explore other options. Then I can react to the market. Then I can buy whatever is the latest and greatest. But until then, it's basically auto investing or robo investing for decisions I made last December, right?
You made your goals for this year.
Yeah.
You're going to be diligent, hyper-focused.
They were intentional.
No one is happy that things are not going well. But Warren Buffett said to be fearful when others are greedy and to be greedy when others are fearful. I'm not in love with the greediness term, but I mean, basically what he's saying is right now people are freaking out and they're doing this and that. And they're making rash decisions. He and his company, they're buying the same 10 to 12 companies they've owned for the last 30 years. Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your 401k upping a contribution. I think that's super good. Crypto, my plan in 2022 is just to keep my eye on the top 10 coins. I'm not even going to entertain taking a rider on some new meme coin.
You tried it, right?
It's not worth it.
Been there,
we
done
tried
that.
it. Full disclosure, the SHIB and Doge, whatever.
Definitely not douche.
It's not fully. It feels like a douche sometimes, but that FOMO. You see your buddy who's made a good return, and we tried chasing that. Right? We did a little bit of that, and at the end of the day, it really hasn't panned out. It hasn't satisfied the requirements that we gave ourselves on these yearly goals. Right?
Maybe we're not smart enough, or fast enough, or well read enough, or savvy enough,
or even lucky enough.
If that's the case, so be it. Because, doing it through the 401k, you'll get there.
Yep. So stick to the plan, guys.
Follow the process.
Follow the process.
We made goals. they were made with intention and foresight. Just follow it. Just follow it. Ignore the news
and close the apps.
Yeah.
So our last topic, Mark, pretty cool wild card here. Let's tee it up.
Basically, what have you been watching in the first month of 2022? I'm going to start. You don't mind, right?
Yeah.
You like to razz me because I don't consume as much culture. I don't watch as much stuff as perhaps you would like me to.
Prestige dramas in your evenings.
My wife and I have been spending some quality time together in the evenings watching the Great British Baking Show. Perhaps a decade late to the party for some of you.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not.
All that means is that we have lots of series available on Netflix. So we put the kids to bed, we sit down, and we, watch an episode in the evening, and it's amazing. I mean, back when I was in college, I would watch like the Top Chefs and things like that, and they were entertaining, but they were harsh sometimes. And you didn't walk away feeling good, but
felt hollow.
Great British Baking Show. I just think British TV or British reality or competition shows, they're better.
They're so much better.
They're better. And
so much better.
I don't know if it's because
why is that?
If it's because, it's familiar, but also slightly different. If it's the accent, if it's the outfits, if it's just the content,
charming, right?
It's wholesome. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels better.
Yeah. It's for me, especially that show, like everyone is there. There's no real prize money. Like when they do the winner, that person gets like 10 hugs.
Yeah.
That's really it. There's no like $1 million. There's no plaque. And they're so genuine.
Definitely.
And like their emotions seem incredibly grounded, and they really become this close-knit group. Well, and it's as real as I think you're going to get on television.
I think they present the people as people. They don't create characters. They don't make good guys and bad guys. In American TV, they edit this stuff to create
an agenda, right?
They create a villain and this subplot. You don't need that. Let me just watch people cook and have fun and judge it and give me an honest review. And when someone leaves, they hug and they say, thanks.
And they genuinely miss that person. I mean, I've said genuine like 6 times, but I think there's no other word that really captures it. And I think also taking one step back, I mean, I've watched a lot of British TV, and for a island nation, it's not a small
island
place, but they punch up a weight class, man. British, I mean, you could watch just British programming, and essentially you'd miss nothing essential.
And I mean, so much of their stuff was imported to the US anyway, right?
Their crime dramas are fantastic. Their comedies are
The Office,
legendary,
right? The American Idol.
Just copy all their stuff, right? Yeah. So good. That's a great choice. So
yes, Great British Baking Show. I recommend it.
That's your one.
Very enjoyable, very wholesome, and because
you
of
have a lot more to watch, Mark, because you got kind of late to the game.
Ready to go, buddy.
So what have I been watching?
Yes.
So this is a great topic. I could spend hours on this because I take pop culture and media consumption.
Let's spend about 5 minutes on it. How about that?
Very seriously. So 5 minutes. Here we go. So lately I've been watching the Peacekeeper series, the John Cena DC kind of Suicide Squad spinoff. The bottom line is I'm enjoying that a lot more than I thought I would.
What?
I think good writing. I think it's good writing and good character development.
What network is that on?
You're gonna ask.
What network?
HBO. Something that I'm also watching because it's sort of required television, although I'm not enjoying it as much, is the Boba Fett stuff. Because the Boba Fett character that they're presenting doesn't feel in any capacity the Boba Fett who had like 3 lines in the trilogy, if you will. It's a different person to me. It doesn't seem genuine.
Well, do you think it's because they take away, once you like get too close, the mystique is gone? Is that
they're just doing silly things with character development, and they're making strange choices. The writing isn't as good as it was for The Mandalorian, and for me, writing is like the most paramount thing, right? If something is well written, I'll basically be there for the ride. And
I just think when you get too much backstory, it like neuters the prestige of that character.
Yes, they decided that they wanted to play around with a very famous character. I can see why, right?
Well,
it's obvious. He's beloved. But, some things are better left untouched. And I know you mentioned that ad nauseum, that you're not interested in Star Wars Episode 21.
It's the commercialization of our childhood nostalgia.
And that one's pretty sacred. I mean, there's not a whole lot of things that are
I sound bitter and jaded when I say that, but they're going to take Boba Fett. They're going to go next. It's going to be
it's going to be every character. Down the line, boom, ba boom, ba boom.
Wedge is going to have his own.
Wedge Antilles, right? The Rogue Squadron guys. You know, we're going to have to rehash that.
Uncle Owen and Amberu, they're going to have their own origin story.
Sure. I mean, and then I think a recommendation that I'll leave you guys with in this category is Insecure, also on HBO. Just wrapped up its 5th and final season. That's an impressive program. I know it's popular. I know I'm basically beating the drum of this is really good stuff. Everyone likes it. I like it too, but really good show. Must watch.
I'm thinking we have to do a story at some point on which streaming service provides the most content. Maybe that's a teaser for a future episode, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I subscribe to way too many, so I could probably play along with that game.
Yeah.
So anything else on the TV front, or I think that's good, right? So
I don't think so. I mean, I'll be doing this British baking. I told you my
British Bake Off. I gave you a few nods, and man, those British shows. So let's jump into the recap. So for sports, embrace the inner recess kid in us all, right?
Yes.
Get that paper watered up, Kobe. Finance, stick to your gun. You buy quality. Don't hunt for bargain basics. Trust the process. Don't get flustered. Do your best. And what we're watching, Mark is doing the Great British Bake Off. He's loving it. You will too. I'm doing Peacemakers, the John Cena DC Suicide Squad spinoff, and I'm doing Boba Fett. And I will keep watching that, even though I'm not loving it, because I want to see where it goes. Anyway, let us know what your media consumption habits are. Maybe tell us what you're watching. We'd love to hear from you guys. I'm Ian.
I'm Mark.
And this has been
Let's get into it.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The content in this podcast is not intended to be a research report, financial or life advice, and does not constitute an endorsement of any product, service, individual, or organization.